right. Welcome back to Arkansas Storm Team Live at 11 a.m. I'm Arkansas Storm Team meteorologist Jenna Warner, and we have something going on outside that we have not seen in quite some time. It is something called the sun. And this is the view right now from our Simmons Bank Tower camera. It is gorgeous out there. We have blue skies that are just gracing Little Rock, and yesterday we had those cloudy skies that just hung around. And if you watched us at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. yesterday, you saw it was really just a band really from northeastern Arkansas down into Little Rock and then into Texarkana, that band of stratus clouds was just hanging on. And that was actually because something cool called an inversion. And that inversion was making sure that moisture, it traps a lot of things at the surface. So air really isn't able to rise over a temperature inversion. It's when temperatures get warmer with height, they're supposed to get colder, but if they get warmer with height, you trap everything at the surface. That's why sometimes this was something that we experienced a lot in Myrtle Beach when I was covering a wildfire. If you have a wildfire ongoing with an inversion that traps all the smoke at the surface, it traps anything at the surface. So yesterday it was trapping moisture at the surface. So we had fog around for a lot of yesterday. We had those clouds around pretty much all day yesterday. We started to see the sun just before sunset in Little Rock, and then we cleared out, of course. But today, the sun is back. We don't have any inversion to be talking about. And a lot of that is due to a cold front that's moving through right now. That cold front, it'll drop our temperatures tomorrow, but the bigger thing that it's going to do today is clear out any low-level moisture. So as it pushes through, it'll make sure that the cloud deck that we had around this morning will just continue to push out of the state and break that up, which is all great news if you want to see the sun. It's been so long, I feel like, since Little Rock has seen the sun, especially since the start of December. We've really just had cloudy day after cloudy day, and that's the pattern that we're in. So it's not like this, wild thing that we have clouds every day. It just gets annoying, as we've been talking about on our live streams and even on air as well. You miss seeing the sun every day. You don't think about it as something that I guess you take it for granted is a better way to put it. When you get in those instances where we're seeing clouds every day. And today is the first time that we've actually seen pretty much fully sunny skies for not just a moment in like 10 days. So get outside, take advantage of it. If you can take your lunch break from outside, I would do that for sure, because we're just going to continue to see more sunshine as we head through the day. Partly to mostly sunny skies are expected, and it's already fully sunny right now in northern Arkansas. I'll take you to the Mountain Magazine camera really quick here. Just see, we see a lot of blue sky there. There's some clouds in the distance, especially looking down from the mountain, but overall it is a very sunshiny blue sky day from our Mountain Magazine camera, but also from our Little Rock camera. And I'll change the direction that we're looking at in our Little Rock camera so we can see maybe a few different angles of downtown. Either way, it's very nice to see the sun, as we've been saying, but also, or as I've been saying, no one else is here with me today, it is just me. But also, we saw a really nice sunrise this morning, and you guys sent in some great photos of the sunrise from your perspective and the sunset yesterday as well. Even just as we had the clouds clearing yesterday, the sun was setting. We had pink popping up on our Little Rock sky cam from the Simmons Bank Tower. So a lot of us were still able to experience a really nice sunset yesterday, even though we spent most of the day in the clouds. So I'm waiting for this to work with me to change our camera view. It's not wanting to load. Sometimes technology does that. So I don't know. We'll try another time. Either way, we can tell it's a very sunny blue sky day in Arkansas. Let's take a look at our temperatures right now. They are warming up. It's already 51 in Little Rock. So yesterday, with the clouds around, we only got to 40 degrees. Today, since we've already started to see the sun, and we were actually warmer today in some of those clouds earlier because 40 was our high yesterday, it's now going to continue to warm up. We'll get into the mid to upper 50s for highs. If we continue to see sunshine like this, I would not be shocked if we got to 60 degrees in Little Rock like we've been thinking pretty much all week until these clouds really just put a nail in our forecasts consistently Monday and Tuesday and over the weekend and last week as well. So it's one of those things where the clouds really factor in when you're thinking about your temperature, which, yeah, no brainer. But I don't know if it's thought of as often because that's the whole reason we were cold yesterday. I had a lot of people commenting on Facebook saying things like, you told me it was going to be warm today and I walked outside without my coat. Maybe don't do that in December when we're already talking about lows in the 30s in the morning to begin with. But you weren't wrong either because we were wrong fully. And that happens. We're also human up here. We are not a computer program just spitting out numbers. We are also fallible. So it happens, and it was unfortunate, but we're getting over it. This morning, how low did we get? 37. So we really didn't fluctuate all that much as far as temperatures go because we had clouds move back in. So our high yesterday was 40 degrees. We maybe got into the mid-30s when we had some clearing just into the overnight Tuesday night. But our overall low since midnight, 37 in Little Rock. So we're fluctuating back and forth by a degree or two until we're warming up right now. And we're seeing warm temperatures pretty much across the state. And you can say warm for this time of year. If this was June, then we'd be calling this cold. So it's kind of relevant as to when you're talking about the warmth. 60 degrees in Fort Smith right now, 59 in Clinton, 58 in Batesville, 52 in Stuttgart. You are seeing those slow clearing clouds, so not everywhere. We're talking about Little Rock seeing the sun, but not everywhere is fully seeing the sun. You are also seeing, if I can get my cursor to work here we go. You are also seeing still some banding of clouds continue in parts of southeastern and south central Arkansas. It's not thick cloud cover, but it's enough to inhibit temperatures fully rising into some point. Those clouds will be fully out of here once that cold front comes through today. It should pretty much already be through Little Rock at this time, and it'll move through the entire state by this afternoon. Now, compared to what it could be, granted, I don't know if we would ever see temperatures like we're seeing right now in the Arctic Circle, but comparatively, it's much colder in the Arctic Circle. It is negative 44 degrees in Norman Wells, Canada. This is right now. It is negative 28 in, let's say, Fort Memory, Key Lake, negative 19. So, yeah, I would say that is pretty cold. And we're even cold in parts of the northern U.S. It's negative 2 right now in Bismarck. It's 10 degrees in Minneapolis. It's 12 degrees in Sault Ste. Marie, 18 degrees in Chicago. So, I mean, realistically, if we're looking at this, I think we're okay with 51. Unless you are a cold weather fan, like KRK4's chief meteorologist Todd loves the cold weather. So I guess to each their own. But if you are a warmer weather fan, then I guess the 50s are okay for today compared to what we could be seeing right now on this map. Definitely interesting to take all of that into perspective. I know we don't always get to see what's going on in parts of Canada and the northern the Arctic Circle. So, also something to talk about today. We are talking about wind gusts. With that cold front coming through today, it's also bringing pretty gusty winds to the state. With that being said, the highest wind gusts we've seen today, so this is recorded since midnight, is 40 miles an hour, and that was recorded in Harrison. That was just recently. So as of 8 a.m. this morning, 9 a.m. this morning, the highest wind gust we had seen was about 28 miles an hour. Actually, I think it was 32. It was also in Harrison, so this has been overcorrected as the cold front has moved through. It's already moved through northwestern and northern Arkansas. It's pushing through right now past Little Rock and down into southern and southeastern Arkansas. It is moving pretty much from the northwest to the southeast. As that cold front comes through, that's going to be the gustiest time. As we head into the afternoon, we'll stay on the breezy side, but then into Wednesday night, those winds will calm down. So anyone that does have anything that is loose outdoors, like your Christmas decorations, your holiday decorations, or anything that would just blow around in the wind, you'll be fine once you get into tonight, but you may notice some things displaced in your yard if you didn't have anything secured down before you left for work today. 36-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Mountain Home, 26-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Jonesboro, 20-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Little Rock, and these are our max as of this time today. So we could see higher wind gusts. This is just the max that we've seen recorded today. So the wind direction, once that front comes through, is out of the northwest, and this can really show exactly where that front is. So you can tell, I guess once I put this into play mode, I can get my cursor back. Nope, maybe not. I forget the trick. No. All right, I missed my graphics. Hold on. All right, that's cool. All right, I'm going to fix this, and we'll take a short break, because technology. I'll be right back. All right, I am back, and we're looking at the map that we left off on. So talking about wind speeds and wind directions, this shows where that cold front is right now. So we have a northerly wind now coming out of Little Rock. So you got to think about wind direction, kind of like shooting an arrow. Wherever you're shooting that arrow off from, wherever that arrow is coming from, is the direction of the wind. So if you're looking at the arrow in Little Rock, that arrow is being shot from the north. It's a northerly wind. Meanwhile, in Pine Bluff, that arrow is being shot off from the west. You have a west wind in Pine Bluff and Stuttgart, as well as Monticello, Camden, El Dorado. You have a northwest wind in Texarkana, so you can see where the cold front is. It's pretty much at the line where you have a bunch of northerly, northwesterly winds and those westerly winds specifically. So that cold front is between Little Rock and Stuttgart, Hot Springs and Pine Bluff, Arkadelphia and Camden, and just south of Texarkana. And that's where that cold front is right now. It'll continue to push through the state. It'll be through the state here actually in the next hour or so. And like we said, that cold front is going to bring really just enough energy to kick out that low-level moisture. So that's why we have those sunny skies. We'll continue to see the clouds that are over us break up. Now, we are talking about pretty gusty conditions right now. So this is the forecast into this afternoon. We're still gusty. We could still see a wind gust between 30, maybe 35 miles an hour this afternoon. But into this evening, those wind gusts still a little breezy, but they're calming down. They die down fully Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and then become southerly into Thursday morning. So that means that another warm flow is moving in for Thursday. Even so, the cooler air from the cold front that's coming through right now will fully settle in Thursday. Some areas in Arkansas on Thursday will get into the 60s. Some areas, like in Little Rock, will make it into the mid-50s. I have 54 for a forecast high on Thursday. And also Thursday morning, we have more clouds moving in. Let's take a look at what the latest HRRR model shows for our cloud cover. Let's see if it's initializing well, and that means that it matches what our satellite looks like. It's not too bad. It might be just a hair off. So we should be clear into this evening, staying clear into tonight. Maybe a few more clouds roll in by Thursday morning. Some of us are cloudy Thursday morning into the first half of Thursday, and then kind of how we've been seeing things go. We start out the day mostly cloudy. We start to see some clearing. Well, we haven't seen it go that way, but a lot of the models have been showing that. We'll continue to watch if this is one of those false readings again, because I don't know how many days in a row we have seen the models say we're going to be cloudy in the morning and then we'll clear in the afternoon. And I don't know how many times we've told you guys that's going to happen, and then it doesn't happen, and we, the Arkansas Storm Team, is that meme of someone just shaking their fist at the sky because we have beef with the sky. That's the reality of being a meteorologist. It just happens that way. But we're also hardest on ourselves. So if you guys think that you're upset with us about the forecast lately, we are more upset with ourselves about the forecast lately. This is our whole passion. So to consistently be wrong like this, it is annoying. I know we have a lot of people that come up to us and say, at least I do. I have a lot of people that come up to me and say the fun joke that I'm sure that many of you think of when you meet a meteorologist that, oh, I wish I could be paid to be wrong. You're not. You're paid to be accurate. That's our entire thing. Our entire drive in meteorology is to make sure that you guys are aware, safe, and prepared, and that doesn't happen if we're paid to be wrong. I know it's more of a joke than anything, but just kind of putting it out there, we are very hard on ourselves when we do not get it right. Even just clouds, which can change everything about a forecast. So this evening, we should be mostly clear to start the evening with more clouds rolling in overnight. Overall lows tonight will make it into the 30s, maybe the mid-30s at that. And then, like I said, tomorrow we warm up into the mid-50s. I have 54 for forecast high on Thursday. Friday, 61, and then you have another cold front that comes through, and these should be popping up on this map, but you have another cold front that comes through Friday night into Saturday. I don't know where those cold fronts are. Take my word for it. Friday night into Saturday, we have our second cold front coming through, and that'll drop our temperatures into the 40s on Saturday. We'll be cloudy. We've got some sprinkles around as well, and then a third cold front comes through Saturday into Sunday. And that'll bring us really cold air. So for Sunday, we're talking about highs in the 30s. And then Sunday night into Monday morning, we could see some of the coldest air that we have at least felt this season. I feel like we've seen air that is pretty similar as far as temperature goes. We're talking about air temperatures in the 20s and feels like temperatures in the teens. What it feels like out there is what's going to be kind of the coldest air that we've seen so far this season, with wind chills possibly in the teens in Little Rock into Monday morning. It's going to be short-lived, so if you're not a cold weather fan, pretty much Monday is going to be cold next week, and then we start to warm up maybe into the upper 40s, into the low 50s. I'm not convinced that next week isn't a very similar week to the week that we've already experienced pretty much for the whole start of December. It does look like a cloudy week. It looks like a week with rain chances as well, which is a good thing, but also not a good thing, so kind of understand that as well. And I say that it's a good thing that we have rain chances. We're in an ongoing drought. Let's take a look at the latest drought monitor. And we get a new drought monitor. We get a new drought monitor tomorrow. So this is the latest drought monitor as of last Thursday, data as of last Tuesday. So it's pretty out of date. We get the latest data tomorrow, and that is as of Tuesday of this week. We're still seeing severe drought hanging on in parts of northeastern Arkansas, really in that kind of tannish, dark tan color near Mountain Home. You have moderate drought in that light tan color, and then you have dry. That's the abnormally dry category, so that's drought level 0. So it's not technically drought in that yellow category. It's the stage right before drought, which I realize it sounds silly to say this is abnormally dry, but it is, and that's the stage right before drought, or right as you're getting out of drought as well. So it's something to keep in mind. We could be worse. Take a look at Oklahoma, still experiencing, what is that, extreme drought in red. So at least we don't have any extreme drought in the state, and there is a whole chunk of Arkansas in northwestern Arkansas that's not in any drought category at all. So with rain chances next week, that's why we say it's a good thing. I say it's a bad thing because if you have any outdoor plans, let's say you have Christmas parades that you want to go to in the middle of the week next week, tree lightings, or you're going to go walk around, look at Christmas lights, whatever it may be, rain isn't amazing for that. I don't know if anyone likes cold rain. I don't think they do. I feel like everyone at this point of the year would rather, if it's going to be cold, may as well snow, especially if we're already in the holiday season and it's kind of feeling like that anyway. To add cold rain to the mix, that is definitely something. But we have a high return showing us that Tuesday into Wednesday of next week, we do have a good chance of rain. Now, I will add kind of an asterisk to this. Asterisk? I don't think I'm saying that correctly, but you know what I'm talking about. In the past few rain events that we've seen in the state, a few days out, 7 days out, 10 days out, we're getting these readings that are saying 80% chance of rain on this day. Take this coming Saturday, for example. It looked like that was a lock-in, that we were going to see rain this coming Saturday. Even over the weekend, this past weekend, you had, I know that I talked about it on KARK 4 News at 5 on Sunday, and Fox 16 News at 9 on Sunday, and KARK 4 after the game on Sunday. I talked about Saturday looking like a rainy day, lock it in kind of thing. Now, we may only get sprinkles on Saturday. So looking towards Tuesday into Wednesday of next week and having a high return, I don't know how much weight I put into that. I put a 10% on both of those days because The models are not doing a good job right now. I don't know if you guys have been with us for the forecast, but the models are not helping us right now. So a lot of this has to be pattern recognition, what is going on day to day, adding that together, and that tells us a lot more of the story than the models are telling us right now. And that's also why your iPhone weather app, I'm going to go on this rant or a tangent for a second. That's why your iPhone weather app is not usually correct. It's just using a model. So anything that is happening in the pattern that is not consistent with the models, your iPhone weather app or whatever phone weather app you use is not going to be consistent either. That is like nails on a chalkboard to a meteorologist when you pull out your weather app and you go, well, my weather app says at 5 p.m. we're going to see sun or whatever it is. Don't do that. For sure don't do that. You can download our app, our Arkansas Storm Team app, much more accurate than that. It even kind of lets you play out if you have rain on radar, where's that rain going to go for the next few hours? And we update our app. On top of that, we have videos that we put on our app. So if you're confused about what you see on the forecast, we upload so many videos a day to that app that you could get pretty much anything you want and more, because we also post blog posts on that app as well. You know, fun things like the next supermoon, or yesterday I did a blog post on the latest outlooks in the middle to latter part of December, what that could look like. So I think that the app is much better than any other free app that just comes with your phone. But anyway, take a look at Saturday. Like I said, this looked like a lock a few days ago. There isn't anything really popping up, and this is the Euro model. We'll take a look at the GFS as well. Usually the Euro has been performing better recently. Oh, I don't have the GFS loaded, I guess. We'll find it. Either way, if I don't find this, I don't want to spend all of our time on this. It's not looking likely. It looks like sprinkles. So here's my forecast for the weekend. First Friday, 61. Saturday, a small chance of a sprinkle. Sunday, we're cold, we're sunny, highs aren't going to get out of the 30s. But Saturday, it may not be a horrible day to be outside. It's still going to be cloudy. It's still going to be chilly. You still have a chance for a light sprinkle here or there, but it's not going to be a lock of a rainy day by any means. Our bigger thing that we're talking about is that cold blast with that second cold front that I talked about Saturday into Sunday. So Sunday, our highs may not get out of the 30s in a lot of areas. Sunday night into Monday morning, our temperatures really plummet. So this is looking at probably our low for the day, Monday. Low 20s in Little Rock, but with a wind around, it could feel like the teens, or an air temperature of 18 degrees in Mountain Home could feel like the single digits. So definitely a cold start to next week. There is some good news. We should warm up pretty quickly next week. So here's our high temperature guidance. Our trend into next week shows that while Monday will still be cold, we may get to 40 degrees on Monday of next week. We may stay in the 30s, but once we get to Tuesday, we're in the upper 40s. Once we get to Wednesday, we're in the low 50s. Thursday, we're in the mid-50s. Friday, we're also in the mid-50s. Now, that's way far out, so who knows what kind of accuracy that has? Well, I know that the accuracy is pretty horrible that far out. So this is more of an idea, but our idea shows that we're not going to stay in this cold bubble for long. And we're not talking about the crazy cold air that you've seen floated around on social media for areas like Iowa and the Dakotas and Minnesota and Montana. That's all going to stay to our north. We're more on the fringe of this cold blast of air coming in this weekend. Okay. What else? Oh, today in weather, well, before we get there, we'll touch on our potential lows for the next 10 days. Since we talked about our highs, 17 is what it shows into Sunday night and Monday morning. That's serious. That's a lot. I don't think we'll get to an air temperature of 17, so that's all kind of dependent. But we do have cold air coming in this weekend. And then our lows kind of correct themselves. So near normal for this time of year is a low in the low 30s, we'll be above normal for this time of year if next week verifies in the low 40s, maybe even a 50-degree low. That all depends. That looks like, probably a lock for rain chances. If we have a low of 50 degrees, we got rain and clouds around or something like that. Either way, that's kind of what we're looking at for the next 10 days. Now, all right, so today in Little Rock, Arkansas, weather history. Today is December 10th. Well, in 2021, on December 10th, there was a tornado outbreak that spanned 4 states. We had Arkansas, we had Missouri, we had Illinois, Tennessee, Kentucky. This outbreak caused a lot of damage. It unfortunately resulted in a lot of fatalities as well. The highest rated tornado in this outbreak was an EF4, and it was on the ground near Monette. I have a graphic showing its track, and it eventually moved out of Arkansas. But we had a tornado. It began near Monette, continued off to the northeast, out of Arkansas, moving. This should show you. Oh, I'm only seeing half the graphic. It was an EF4 tornado with maximum sustained winds of 170 miles an hour. At its widest, it was over a mile wide. And this is its full track. We'll show you here. So this tornado moved into far southeastern Missouri and then into Tennessee, and then it picked up. But this same cell, it was a cyclical supercell, so that means that it dropped another tornado from the same cell in Kentucky and just continued on. A very long track kind of cyclical supercell, and that was on this date, December 10th, 2021. That was a Friday. Let's end this live stream on something a little happier. It is meteorological winter already. That began December 1st, so we're 10 days into meteorological winter. Astronomical winter, which is what we all kind of think of, that is coming up. That is December 21st, so we have 11 days until, will this play out? Okay, we're playing out. We have 11 days until we reach our astronomical winter, the official start of winter. I know a lot of people think of the solstice when they think of winter. That is coming up, and then meteorological winter ends on the last day of February. Meteorological spring starts March 1st. But that's all the time we have. Join us back at 3 p.m. today for Arkansas Storm Team Live with Todd and Joel. Until then, I will be on Arkansas Today and KRK4 News at 12:30 with your latest forecast. Thanks for watching.